good day. As you can see, I was joined by a robin who was picking out grubs and worms, not surprisingly. So I've given this bed a quick forking. These here are chard, rainbow chard, so I've left those in. And there's also here and up here, or here is a California poppy. There's one here as well. And I know there's a couple of people who would like some. So I'm going to dig those up another day when I know they're going to be down here and pass them on. And then in this area here are some self-seeded nigella. I've taken some out, but the others I'm going to take out and put in a different area on the plot. But I'm pleased to have started with this bed. Obviously, all of this needs trimming. I mean, the whole plot needs trimming. As the amphibians go into hibernation, I'm going to get on with this grass here and start pulling all of that out. Yeah, but you know what? I'm just glad to have started another bed. So there we are. Another start to a week at the plot with this Monday segment. And much like last week, I'm taking my gloves off. Much like last week, it's just bed prep. I was really pleased with the amount of work that I got done last week. I was hoping on getting the end beds here, the small pocket beds as I call them as well, sorted. And of course, they all got sorted. Then the Brussels sprout bed also got sorted and half of it got planted up. What I am going to do with the other half of the Brussels sprouts bed, now I've decided not to put any more Portuguese cabbage in there, but to give the plants that we've got in modules away, because we've got plenty of brassicas to carry us through till May, is cover it up with cardboard. And in fact, I was talking to a fellow plot holder about that only an hour ago, something like that. And in this bed that I've just done today, when I have completed, when I've transplanted those California poppies and taken the nigella away, I will also cover that in cardboard, obviously apart from the chard. Our chard really, our own chard really sort of didn't get away this year. Not sure why, because it's really done well for us in previous years. But you know what? This year has been a brassica year for us, so I can't complain. And, oh, I've just realised I split my trousers. I'm going to have to get on hands and knees to Richard again. And yeah, in order to ask him, beg him to put another patch on there, not for any other reason whatsoever. Well, maybe not anyway. Where were we? Yes, so that then leaves just the bed that we had the corn in and the additional beans that Vivi gave us in to do. And then once that bed is done, that's all of the bed prep done, if you like. And I think the next job I'm going to do after that is again hands and knees weeding of a few of the other beds, but particularly the soft fruit bed, because even though we dug it really deep and we covered it in really thick layers of cardboard, the couch grass has really got in there. So I'm going to need to get in there with my hand fork and weed it, trying obviously not to disturb the soft fruit roots, the roots of the soft fruit bushes, sorry, that are in there. I mean, you know, they're in there. Are they dormant yet? They've still got leaves on them, but they're going into their dormancy. So I don't want to be fiddling around with the roots, because of course I did a huge amount of that last year when we took them right back to bare root and we cleaned that root completely. So they were fully, invaded last year and then set into that soft fruit bed. I am a bit disappointed that the couch grass has come back in that soft fruit bed quite as strong as it did. You'll remember we mulched it really well and we'd forked it really well before that, then put the cardboard down, then mulch on top. I'm not sure whether it's seeds that have blown in or whether it's couch grass that has ingressed into that bed. But you know what? When I'm on my hands and knees in front of that bed with the hand fork, I'll have a better idea, because clearly if the couch grass is going back and it's it goes back to its mother, if you like, because it has long tendrils that root when it hits the ground, I'll know that the couch grass has ingressed. If the grass in there is in individual pockets, then it's much more likely to have blown in via seed and just established itself. Anyway, that's for another day. I'm pleased with the work I've got done today. Will I be down tomorrow? I think it depends on the weather, and of course, much of what we're doing at the moment is all much of a muchness. It's bed prep, it's winter bed prep, preparing for winter, and therefore also preparing for spring. But yeah, the weather is getting colder. I'm saying that, I had my big fleece on. At the moment, I've got this long sleeve shirt on and I've got a t-shirt on. The sun is out and I am gloriously warm, or have been, whilst doing that work. But the reason I'm in this is I had a fleece on top and I took that off because I was too warm. And now I'm sitting in the shed in the shade. There is some sunlight coming in, as you can see. It's slightly cooler, but still not bad, which is all good. But I think tomorrow one of the jobs I'm going to be doing is switching off the water on the site for the winter, because it does look as though we're going to be reaching freezing point. My thermometer here says it was minus 2.1 last night. Whether it was, I'm not sure, but it certainly didn't say minus 2.1 yesterday, but it does today. That's the lowest temperature that it says it has reached. I'm still not quite sure whether, I know the high is correct and I know the current temperature is correct, but I'm not quite sure whether the lowest temperature that it says it has reached is correct. Minus 2.1 would suggest ice, and I haven't seen any significant ice. But then again, with the sun as it was this morning, any ice would have defrozen very quickly, particularly if it was just thin ice. Anyway, look, I'm going before I start skating on thin ice. I will see you again maybe tomorrow, but I do think the next bed is going to be that bed that I've just mentioned, and we'll talk a little bit more maybe about what I need to do in the bed, the flower bed next to it, to ensure that we don't get the ingress of weeds that we've had this year. See you soon. Bye. Good day. This is the bed that I aim to get done in the next hour or so. I'm hoping it's going to be easier than it looks. Fingers crossed. Job done, or at least begun, partially done. So I've forked it over to a fork's depth and have taken out all of the plants that were in here, which were detritus from beans and corn. And I've also taken out all the weeds that were in there. The main issue with this bed is couch grass and bindweed, particularly bindweed actually. So the problem here is this bed. We've got a dwarf cherry here, a rather defunct lavender here, and then the hebe here, and under here really I need to get right in, take these out over the winter when everything is dormant, maybe replace that lavender, but I need to really get in here, fork this right down and get out all of the couch grass and bindweed, because what's happening is apart from some of the couch grass coming in over, much of the bindweed is coming in under the decking board here and then creeping into this bed. So yeah, it's a big job. Well, it's a winter job. It's a winter job, and I'm going to get on and do it. At some time, I would have thought in January and February, when the cornus here is really completely dormant. Though it does flower early, so I need to keep an eye on that. I might have to look back in videos to see when it was flowering and when it started getting leaf. But yes, it's this bed. So one of the jobs that I've marked down now is to hand weed this and just pull this grass and all of this grass around here as well. A lot of grass pulling. I think I may have to open up an additional perennial bin, because my hot bin is full, and the 2 perennial weed bins are also full. So I think I may have to see if I can find a way of opening up another one. Right, I think there may be a spare one. I think I know where there may be a spare one. I could actually put it over here, in this area over here. Yeah. Anyway, look, I'm pleased with that. What I will be doing, oh, I just almost fell over. What I will be doing in the coming few days, maybe week, is covering with cardboard all of the beds that I have worked on over the past week. I'll be putting down organic chicken manure pellets first to nourish the soil underneath, and then cardboard on top, and putting bricks on top to hold down that cardboard. Yeah, that's for another day. Now I'm going to go back home to my desk, where I am likely to have a call waiting for me. Okay, see you again soon. Bye. Good day. We've put a whole host of bits of metal along here because we're having tree work done. So this multi-stem tree, Sycamore, which is on our land but borders the road, is being thinned out a bit. There's some dead branches up there and it's being thinned out and managed, so not being cut down obviously. It's a mature tree but thinned, really pollarded almost. Not that you can do that with the sycamore. And then we're having work done over on the trees on the far side over there as well. More tree work has gone on here. These are poplars. You can see where they've been cut back. And then the work will continue on those tomorrow as well. It's now the following day, and hopefully you can see that this has been thinned out quite a bit, including further up the tree. Might even be able to see the cut marks on some of the branches that have been removed because they've been crossing or going to be crossing. Look at that sky though, isn't that fabulous? The tree against the sky. So we've got all of that brush there, which will go onto a wildlife pile. But yeah, we've asked them to look at a 10-year tree management program, which will help the association and the charity better manage the site. But yeah, there's a lot of brush there to sort out, which is great. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you again another day. Bye. Good day. It's Saturday morning, and I can see from this angle that that tree work has really quite thinned out those trees, both sycamores. it's just so good to have that job done. We've got Storm Arwen coming over the UK at the moment. Not really doing any damage here, apart from the uncovering of our Portuguese cabbage. So I'm going to have to put that netting back over those and secure it better. The real issue here is that the netting isn't big enough to go, isn't wide enough to go over, fully over and down to the ground. So yeah, I'll do that later. My or our brassicas, our Brussels sprouts, are now netted. Not swift enough though, in some ways. Pigeon damage. Look how I really... My fault. Should have been on sooner. So we're not going to be having Brussels sprout tops this year. But you know what? Lots of Brussels sprouts. This is the one, if you remember, that we're going to save for seed. What I am going to get on with today, though, and I hadn't planned on doing it, is cutting back that buddleia. Let's just go up there. With the winds that we are going to be getting over the common months, the next few months, I want to do what I can to make sure that the polytunnel is not punctured. My issue here is that I put in this additional water butt. Well, I put this one in and moved this one that was there to there. Now it's difficult to get in there. But you know what? Just going to have to empty it and move it out the way. It'll fill up with the rain that we're having anyway. Get in there and cut this back. So I'm not going to show you what I'm doing, but we'll have a look at it at the end. Half an hour later and the job is done. The polytunnel is now clear of the buddleia. There's some smaller shrubs at the back there. I have actually cut them down. I just need to remove them. No damage to the polytunnel, thankfully. Another job I should have done earlier in the year, but there we are. And then in January or February, I'm going to ask our plot neighbours to help us take this buddleia right down. So whether we take it down to the ground or not, or whether we take it to about... I think I'd like to take it to about this height, because then when it grows above the polytunnel, if you see what I mean. Where if I took it right down to the ground, it would be splaying out at the bottom here. So I think we'll take it to about, well, the height of that knot there, or not, but that bunch of branches there. So yeah, a job for January, February, but at least we've secured the polytunnel here in terms of it being punctured by buddleia blowing in the wind. Are you still down there? Can you see Mr. Robin? Not sure if I can. No, he's just gone, I think. Oh, there he is. Or her, of course. This is the bed where we have Vivi's broad beans, which are all germinating. Really good germination, Vivi. Home safe seed really is the best, I think. And Vivi's, of course, is extra special. What Vivi has suggested is if I have any tunnels, netting tunnels, to put them over the broad beans, and I didn't think I had, but I've realised that I do. So what I'm going to do is take up these bamboos and put down the netting tunnels that I have found. One of the hoops in one of the netting tunnels I need to find. I'm not sure where it is, but yeah, hopefully I can find the metal wire that acts as the hoop. We've got quite a bit of rain going on now, and the wind is getting up, but I think you can just see the black netting, 2 tunnels of black netting between those 2 bits of green netting. So I have netted the broad beans like Vivi suggested. Let me just sit down. Well, I think that is 2 jobs that were done just in time, because the rain is getting heavier. So I think Storm Arwen is sort of coming closer our way, which was expected today and also tomorrow. I think tomorrow it dips down to -2. So I'm really pleased to have got those broad beans netted, because not really because of the cold, but because of the wind. Vivi, as you know, usually has the most amazing broad beans, and she nets hers right from the beginning. A, to keep cats off, but B, to keep the wind off. And I never have done that. So it'll be interesting to see how netting that works for us this year. And then the cutting back of the buddleia at the polytunnel, I'm so pleased I got that done, because yeah, it's sort of, that wind is beginning to creep up for sure. Right, it seems very dark in, well, I suppose maybe it is dark in here today. Maybe we've got some wood holding down the plastic, and maybe that has moved a bit in the wind. I don't know, but you can most probably hear that it is raining quite heavily now. And I think I am going to go home. And I think this is going to be the last segment for this week's A Week at the Plot. I know it's Saturday morning and I normally do a Sunday segment, but this is the first weekend in, oh, I don't know, since the middle of June that I haven't had a community or volunteer event happening, or that I have been attending. So I'm going to have a little bit of downtime this weekend. I've done 2 good jobs this morning and I'm really pleased with that. I've got other jobs that I want to do on my list, and I'll get on with those most probably on Monday. And tomorrow I'll most probably just come down to the plot to do a little bit of harvesting of cabbage leaves and turnips and carrots. Still got some carrots in. What are we going to have this evening? Oh no, I know what we're going to have this evening. So yeah, I don't need to harvest anything today. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here for this week's A Week at the Plot, and I will see you again on Monday for further jobs down here in episodes of A Week at the Plot. See you then. Bye.